yeah.
What does that mean? Does that mean bonking's on the menu or what?
Oh my god.
Hello everybody, my name's Paris.
I'm Selena.
Welcome to our channel. We are
Love Uncut. I always have to get the timing right on that.
Yeah, I think the synergy is actually working. I feel like, it's just easier now. So this week we're going to talk about reality TV dating, and we're going to share one of our experiences on a reality TV show which was all about dating.
What show was that, Paris?
Yeah, so what show was that? So First Dates, everybody. So one of the biggest national dating shows in the country. I applied to go on their show.
And that's where we met! No, I'm just
That's not where we met, no. This isn't really about Selena, although I do want Selena's thoughts on the topic.
Might as well just leave.
Yeah, no, I'm only joking, no. Of course, you're the star of the show. We can't get rid of the star of the show over
There
here.
you go.
Silver tongue over here, innit? So essentially this was a few, cast your mind back a few years ago. Why did I apply to go on First Dates? Well, I just found myself frustrated with the London dating scene. I actually think it's notoriously hard to find love in London if you're from London. That's a key.
Interesting concept.
That's a key distinction, because London does have its own culture, right? So in London we have these people called waste man, and
I think they exist everywhere, not just in London, huh?
Yeah, for sure. But there's a certain standard that I felt that London girls held you to, and it wasn't realistic. Like, you gotta be that guy, a footballer type of guy, and some of it's in your head, but the point is, things were just getting unreasonably difficult, and I refused to, lower my prices for this market. If you know what I'm saying.
Stock.
Yeah, people wouldn't meet you in the middle, and you'll be accused of being lazy because you're saying meet me in the middle and basic stuff like that. So I even knew at my young age back then that, this is a bit tricky. So I felt like, hey, I like this show. I'm gonna get some people to curate me, a date. I'd never actually gone on a blind date before. Have you?
No.
No,
I think so.
No, I didn't have any friends that had friends. They never had friends. I mean, did you ever have that situation where you're asking a friend if they have a friend and they didn't?
I'd never really asked, because I guess
You didn't need to, because they're all attracted to you.
No, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say I was never really that forward to ask, probably just a bit shy. But friends would say, oh, my boyfriend has a friend, or my brother has a friend, or my brother. But yeah, it never really, I think I was just too shy to follow it up most of the time.
Fair enough. So I guess, our contrast is that I would be asking, yes, I'll be hunting with my paint on and my spear. And then, you would kind of get the offers, and fair enough at that point, you were a bit shy. Good for me, I guess, in the future. Good for both of us. So yeah, they just never had any friends. I don't know what was going on. What's the point of female friends then if they ain't gonna supply the goods in some ways?
Supply the goods?
Yeah, or maybe they just wanted me all to themselves. Like, you have your male friend, and it's like, I don't want to lose a part of him.
Could be very true. I think some people are afraid that if their friend gets into a relationship, that the friendship ends. I mean, I think sometimes the friendship changes. I don't think it has to end, but
yeah, it does take a step back for sure. There's a certain energy that you don't have for them anymore, and vice versa. That's just a reality. But so, let things progress. But anyway, it was what it was. So I just applied.
Did you have to send a picture, like a paragraph about yourself? How did it work?
Yeah. So I sent a picture of myself.
Okay.
Yeah, with my clothes on, obviously, but it was like a nice black and white picture of me smiling, and I just explained that I'm a music artist, and I'm eclectic, and I've so far I haven't really met anybody that's eased my mind, You know, I think it's one thing to have physical chemistry with somebody, but I think ultimately what you need is someone that can ease your mind and also your spirit. And I think there's just a very high barrier to entry for not just London boys dating London girls, but maybe young people in general. It seems like people put a lot of emphasis and difficulty on the courting stage, when really, ideally, if you're trying to follow the blueprint for a relationship, you've got a lot more to go in terms of challenges and situations to overcome, if you know what I'm saying. So, you know, even whether somebody texted you first was a big deal. Blue ticks were invented, I think, by London girls in that year. Yeah, you know, very painful. You know, and to all the London people, especially the males watching, I recommend you just get someone from outside of London. It's just less hassle.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it? For maybe girls in London are that way because they have been, you know, they've had bad experiences with guys, or a lot of guys don't take dating seriously. Like, maybe, do you know what I mean? Guys might just take the piss and be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm not going to make an effort because there are XYZ girls behind you, or okay, yeah, nice to see you, I enjoyed that, on to the next one. I think there are guys like that who don't, if you go on a date, there's some guys who are just trying to get what they can and bounce. Whereas there are some guys who are interested in seeing how it goes. Depends, if you're both on the same page, it's fine. But if you're on different pages, that's where the issue is.
I think it's very hard for women with their radar to tell who's who.
Exactly.
And then,
so yeah, you have to be a bit cautious and protect yourself, right?
But it was just got a little bit long, man. I was even talking to my friend at work about it, and I think he ended up marrying a girl from Newcastle or something. So, you know, I'm just saying, you're gonna see.
So are you saying girls outside of London are more chilled or more laid back?
Yeah.
Not so much criteria that you have to tick the box.
Yeah, as if this is like Indian matchmaking or something. You know? Yeah, in my opinion. I mean, guys are dancing to get through to the next round, like trying to get the golden buzzer and all that, just to get your number. Like, it's crazy. Whole choreography. And yeah, it's nice in theory, but it's kind of indicative of a wider difficulty. And, you know, women don't owe you anything, but I actually know you do owe one thing: to meet in the middle. You know, and there have been women who have been, you know, oh, I'm not interested or whatever. That's cool, but it's just the ones who may be interested, but you have to kind of dig and convince.
You
and
have
persuade.
to do all the work.
Yeah, you can't.
They're not even letting you know or giving you a signal or calling you first or texting you first, as you say.
You have to kind of guess, and you know, when you're in that realm of having to persuade someone to pay attention, persuade, it's a bit. Gets a little bit dodgy, you know.
I guess some people like the chase though, because to them, if you continue persuading, then you're like being determined and you're showing you're really interested. But on the flip side of that, it could put someone off completely, because they could think, actually, you're being annoying, so I'm not going to make this effort.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, girls would openly tell you back then as well, like, oh, by the way, you're just a +44, like I haven't even saved your number. So you have to work up from being a +44 into a contact in their phone.
Man.
Yeah, +44 into a contact in their phone.
It's like a high school thing.
And they'll tell you that to your face. You know what I mean? So,
anyway.
Sorry, I just ran over. Okay, I'm clearly over it. So yeah, I sent them a picture, just told them about me. I said I'm a bit eclectic. I'm a music artist, and I sent them like my heartbreak song at the time. Which was out, you know, because it's love related, I guess, and it helps them think that, you know, this guy needs some love in his life, sort of thing. And then they just called me back. A nice guy called me back named Adam, and he just spoke more about me and why I'd picked to show like first dates, and I just explained all the things that I'd explained to you guys as well. You know,
you told him about London girls.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I didn't hold back. You needed to know the pain. And I'm qualified to say it anyway because I'm from London, right?
Yeah,
so.
I guess. Well, look, you're talking from your experience.
Yes.
No one can sort of doubt your experience, but just I'm always very careful of like putting everyone in a box.
Yeah,
and the stereotypes. So I'm sure not every girl in London is like that.
No, because I certainly didn't, you know, date every kind of girl in London. Wasn't enough time, but You know, there was, I mean, when we went to see Three Shots of Tequila live, that was in Birmingham, right? And the Birmingham, it was mainly girls there, wasn't it, in the crowd?
Yeah.
Like, literally 85, 90%. And they literally said, like, they didn't rate Birmingham boys
Yeah,
whatsoever.
true. They all wanted to date a London guy.
Yeah, so you need to understand there's a cultural barrier. Try and get someone that's not from your city if you can. That's all I'm saying. Especially people new to your city, fantastic. The best type of people. Anyway, so
You talking to Adam?
yeah, and he was nice and friendly, and he just said, right, come down to our offices, you know, talk to our production team. And yeah, I went into the office. I didn't tell anybody
You actually
this.
went into the office. I didn't know that.
Well, there's an office, right? But obviously they have the place where they do the dates. And by the way, this was years ago, so they've obviously evolved and changed things since. But yeah, that's correct. Yeah, you had to go in person to their offices, and then there were other first dating guys there. And I was just talking to them, signing away my life on the form. And you know, I was just getting into it because I was confident, just making people laugh. And then, you know, I went up to the room to speak to the curators, the matchmakers.
Okay.
So they had 2 matchmakers there. And I just told them about myself, and they did that little thing where they film you and they ask you about love. So they would have had me.
Oh, so you were like, you had the background behind you.
Yeah. So they were asking me about that. It was a green background, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah, okay.
And then, you know, I said I don't believe in love at first sight. Obviously, that's lust. That was just my opinion at the time. And, you know, what I needed, what I wanted. I asked them for basically a girl that likes Miguel, the singer. I said, you know.
What, because you look like Miguel?
Yeah, so, do you think that's smart, clever of me, maybe? I had to increase my odds. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have any other stipulations. That was the main one.
Interesting.
And a nice
what?
rear.
I mean, say bum. Rear is awful. Like she's a cow or something.
She's a stallion.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I asked for that. That's what I asked for. Sorry, Mum. I know you're watching, but your baby boy's grown up and he likes
I think your mum is aware that you like bottoms.
rump. Well, I don't exactly discuss it. But anyway, anyway. So, well, I guess it's a circle of life. She understands, I guess. You know, you're...
Okay, move on.
Yeah. And they were really nice, they were really friendly, they were really engaged. They were actually keen on getting me a date that would match. And there was no stipulations in terms of, I said I don't want to be too picky, blah, blah, blah. But they were like, no, whatever you need.
What, so like how far did the stipulations go? Like did you just speak theoretically about, okay, a girl that likes a girl and da-da-da-da, or did you say like physically what you want, apart from the bum, what you want the girl to look like and things like that? Did it go that far? I'm just interested how they match.
I mean, you can't imagine, you can't, I just said those basic things. Everything else is up to the stars, isn't it, really? That was just me. I'm sure some guys are coming there with a checklist. And indeed, I've heard of some guys with, you know, silly checklists as well, just as much as girls have, you know, silly checklists. And, you know, the matchmaker at the time gave me their number. So it was a very personal
So you could ring them up and say, oh, actually this. And
yeah, any questions. So, you know, they went at great lengths to make me feel comfortable throughout the whole process.
That's quite good.
Yeah, it was a pleasant process, what I went through. Anybody thinking of doing it, why not? I got a call about a couple of months later, and then they were just asking me, hey, by the way, we found a match. And I was like, ooh, you know, and are you ready to come on a date? And then I just had to be honest at that point. You know, at that point I'd met someone and like it was going well. So I had to think about,
where do I hedge my bets sort of thing.
yeah, and I guess how it would reflect if things progressed into a relationship with the person that I was interested in, and then they then see this first date situation, you know, just creates a bit of a headache. So I felt like, oh, this is a genuine chance, surprisingly. So it's kind of like you're waiting for a bus and 3 come at once, because obviously I was waiting, and then I even went to the lengths of first dates, and then suddenly, oh, just randomly met somebody. And So as I said, I've met someone, and I was like, oh, okay, I understand that. Well, you know, obviously keep us posted if that changes, because this does happen if you're just getting to know somebody over the first few weeks. I was like, yeah. So that was the overall decision, you know, because it was kind of like, okay, somebody I'm already vibing with versus an unknown person. It is more of a risk, and you know, unless I was actually genuinely in it to try and meet somebody, as opposed to putting my face on TV.
I was going to say, I think some people would have still gone for the chance of being on the screen, wouldn't they?
Yeah, no, fair enough. You know, and if, you know, fair enough. I think but I just had something that was already tailor-made, lucky me kind of thing. Because, you know, a lot of these things about meeting somebody is obviously luck, just pure luck. So.
Luck, timing. Like,
yeah. So I was just like, no, it's cool. So that's what happened, really. And, you know, that someone that I met was Selena. So, you know, here we are a couple years later. In theory, I chose correctly, right? Because
I don't know. I can't tell you that.
I'm just saying, obviously, I chose right because we're still standing. We were able to grow from that moment into this moment, in a way. But you know, overall, I would say thumbs up to all the team at First Dates. Don't know if she still works there, but Harriet, Adam, big up yourselves.
I'm very impressed that you remember their names. Paris has such a good memory. He's like a little elephant.
Yeah, for certain things I definitely do. But yeah, as I say, once again, thumbs up. Now I have seen it is a bit of a random thing on there, so sometimes they match you up with somebody who pushes your kind of boundaries. Yeah,
because I think they want good TV, don't they?
Sometimes. So you never know. You know, sometimes you see people there that are just like that. Some people, something random like, oh, by the way, I have 3 kids and I'm 19, and then they zoom in on the face to see if there's any bias there. Do you know what I mean, or something like that, which is actually cool because it's good to expand your horizons. So
yeah,
but who knows what kind of date I would have gotten, you know, what their plans were. And
can I ask a question?
Yeah, go on.
Did they say anything about who pays for the date? Like, is it actually the people who go on the show that pay, or is it the show that pays?
Nah. So at that time, it was, you know, the people who go on a date that pay. But you know, again, I didn't go through to that stage to confirm that. But yes, around that time when I was watching it, which is why I applied, obviously, you know, the dates pay. So it's not a cheap restaurant either.
What restaurant is it? Are you allowed to
No, you know what? I didn't find that out.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find out the gas.
Yeah, I mean, if they did tell me, I forgot. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just some restaurant in London, it must be. But you know, it was interesting. They do the boy interviews on one day, the girl interviews on another.
So there's no chance of you.
Yeah, I don't need the show. Let's get out of here. You know.
I was just thinking that, like, what if you passed the person in the waiting room and you had no idea?
Yeah, no, there's only boys there. They made sure of that.
Okay.
So yeah, I think obviously the person who they picked for me, I never found out who it was, didn't ask. None of my business, DPA, etc. But I'm sure they went on one of the episodes.
Yeah.
You know, proceeding in a year. You know, that came. But yeah, I mean, overall, in terms of the process going on there, thumbs up. I think it's the aftermath that may affect some people in a negative way. You know, if the date doesn't go well, maybe. It just depends.
Well, I think also it's like, it's not just if the date doesn't go well, it's how you come across yourself. Because if
how
you're...
edit,
yeah, people can edit you to be completely different to how you are on the date. Or like, if you're so nervous, you might not be yourself. Or you might be playing up to the cameras, or I don't know. I think it's very interesting, these reality shows. I think First Dates is probably one of the better ones because it's just one-on-one. You can kind of, I assume, dress how you want, you can order what you want, you know, you have a conversation that's not being fed to you. Again, I'm assuming all of this, but like on other reality shows, which I guess is kind of the broader question, it seems a bit more like scripted
at times. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
It's like Love Island seems quite like they put them in situations to see what's going to happen, don't they?
Oh yeah, you have seen on Love Island, you know, some of the contestants committed suicide, like Mike,
Sophie, and then obviously the host, previous host. Rest in peace to all of them, of course.
Yeah, so I guess depending on how big a platform you're on and the focus, that can have an influence on your experience. But most people, from what I've heard, not that I, search it on the news or anything, most people from first dates don't come off out of it much worse than how they went in. And they've got all different types of people go there. There's not no bias towards some guy with ice white teeth and a six-pack. You've got older people there, you've got divorced people, you've got differently abled people.
Yeah, just everyone. But that's why I like the show, because it's reflective of society, which is, everyone is different, everyone's unique, everyone is beautiful in their own way. And I really like that they don't just pick like the perfect body kind of, and the perfect smile, and all the girls look the same. Again, I'm referring to Love Island. There's just no diversity, and I think they think if they have like one black girl on there or one Indian man on there, that's diverse, and it's like, no, it's not. So
proper going in, aren't you? Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you should go in, to be fair. You're right. I mean, I think that obviously some of these shows reflect a society which is quite narrow-minded, but most people do watch these shows knowing they're not really realistic.
Yeah, you watch it with a pinch of salt, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. So I think a kind of show like that, dipping your toe in something like that, that's all good. But some people are, getting married at first sight. Some people are not even seeing the person they're going to marry.
Love is Blind, yeah.
Yeah, obviously you got Indian Matchmaking recently, which was a top 10 hit in the UK, where they do the
almost
arranged...
like First Dates, really, if you think about it, because it's like a person matchmaking two people. The only difference is you see the bio data, I suppose, beforehand. Kind of similar.
Yeah, and the intentions obviously, First Dates is a bit more loose. Oh, where's this going to go? I might never see you again. Versus the other person, obviously they're very clear they want marriage.
That's true. There's pressure in the Indian matchmaking show versus here.
Yeah.
But I think people off First Dates have stayed together. I'm sure I read a story about this.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, after the show ends, it really is just you and this person. I don't necessarily think the fact you met on TV would have a massive bearing on what happens to you, because it's not like you instantly become an uber famous couple. Basically, I saw Love Island Kaz Crosley speak to Kelechi from Too Hot to Handle. If you don't know about that, then watch it on Netflix. And anyway, she just spoke about when you become a Love Island couple, it's so much pressure instantly, and that eventually wears you down. So, she said herself, if she could do it again, she wouldn't go out with someone who's famous because of the extra pressure on top of the relationship. So that makes sense. Whereas on First Dates, it's just a different kind of angle and feel.
Less pressure. It's literally like you come on. I think people that go on First Dates perhaps a little bit more
quirky, open, outwards.
Yeah, and maybe more genuine. I don't know, because I feel like there's less of a media circus around it, whereas with other shows you generally tend to get some level of fame, and there is that pressure of how you look, and there is that pressure of, you have to go out wearing certain brands, or you have to go out to certain clubs, or as you say, if you are dating off the back of the show, you can clearly see there's a pattern, like they have to stay together for at least 3 or 6 months after the show.
And I know that Amarion as well, and April Jones, Amarion, B2K, Dutch, him and his girlfriend,
ex-girlfriend,
mother of his children, broke down, and he just said, look, we were okay until we went on the show. So pre-existing relationships.
What show were they on?
Love and Hip Hop. We were okay until we went on.
Oh, that show is just... Anyway.
But just imagine if they're like, yo, I'll give you 150k for 6 months filming. Most couples would be like, yeah, okay. But because they can edit it how they want, and because their audience is a certain way, maybe on the Love Island side of things, kind of, very surface level, it's a goddamn gamble, and I think that did contribute to
you just don't have control as well. Sorry, I cut you off. You just don't have control, and that's the problem. And also, it's like every day, or at least I'm sure majority of the week they're being filmed, you just don't get a break.
Yeah, and it's partially scripted.
Yeah, it'd just be knackering, like.
Yeah, maybe not the wave.
I think First Dates is probably the safest kind of reality love show option. no one off of those shows or that show has had any major issues, at least that have been in the news. They might have, but not made it to the news.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few YouTubers who have put, rejected on national TV, so a few of them have spoken about that, but that's not as a result of the show. The show can't control whether they get on.
They decided to go on the show, right?
Yeah, the show, yeah, exactly that, and whether somebody likes you or not, who knows. So yeah, that's my overall feelings about First Dates. But, you know, do you guys still watch First Dates? Do you like the same things that we like about First Dates? I think they've got a hotel now.
They do, yeah.
What does that mean? Does that mean bonkings on the menu or what?
Oh my god!
That's what I'd be asking. How much are you gonna film?
No, they can't film that. They'll just film you going back to a room and that's it.
Because of societal pressure anyway, I doubt many people would go and do that, especially women. You know, they get a lot of hate speech online instantly, you know, from jealous people. You know what, another bonus thing I have to say about finding love on TV is that even if you do get rejected on the first date, or you get rejected on Love at First Sight or whatever, like, you've now got a platform, so maybe that person who's a better fit will see you.
Maybe.
But obviously it'll be hard for you to differentiate between people who want you for you or people who want you because you've been on TV.
You're right, actually, because remember Love is Blind? Is it Mike off of Love is
Mark.
Blind? Sorry, Mark.
Mark Anthony Cuevas.
Oh, you know his whole name. Anyway, so he obviously had a bad experience on Love is Blind with Jessica, who was just... Let's not even go there.
Well, by her own admission, she's not denying that looking back it doesn't look good, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, so, but off the back of that show, like, he had so many women, like, you know, atting him and DMing him, saying, hi, you know, I'm here, sort of thing. And I think now he's got a new girlfriend that, you know...
Yeah, he seems really into her.
He seems happy.
So
yeah, I think it definitely gives a level of visibility. And even if, like, you did have a bad time on the show, maybe people giving you attention makes you feel a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it's a slippery slope if you're doing anything just for the attention. But yes, I guess on a small level, yes. You know, I'm sure that did boost his ego in some way. But, you know, you're trying to fill a certain hole with a genuine connection as opposed to attention, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, no, I get you. I'm not saying it's right. I think just, like, short term, it'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, people like me. But then it's like, oh, where does this actually lead? Yeah,
I mean, because if you're going to DM somebody back and it's a screenshot and instantly they're trying to go viral, do you know what I mean?
Yes, that's true. That is really true.
You're now second, third guessing everything. It's a bit tricky. You know, generally my format of dating isn't as formalized as a first date. I'd never want to approach you and have a first date. You know, I'd never want to even call it that, because then the expectations put you on shaky ground. You know.
I know what you mean. There are, like, people build up the whole first date thing in their head, don't they? When really it's just two people meeting to see if they want to continue meeting. Whether, well, romantically or even just as friends sometimes. But yeah, the term first date has a lot of connotations to it. But by nature, by essence of what it is a first date. Like, you can't... Yeah, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, typical millennials want to do everything in all but name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Is it a date or a date? And you know what I mean? That was the thing.
Oh yeah, like so going out.
Yeah, or you take someone's number and they just kind of freeze up. It's just like, it's just a number.
Oh.
But maybe they've had experiences. But the point is, like, there's a lot of pressure on everything. Even reply, like, it's Hunger Games.
Oh yeah, some people have to leave like an hour or 5 hours. I have no time for that. If you want to talk to me, talk to me. If you don't, whatever. If you're busy, fine. But if you're purposely, like, calculating how long it takes, no, there's something wrong there. If people judge people by how quickly or slowly they reply as well.
Yeah, and then even one friend said, oh, the guy didn't pour my drink first, so that's a mark against him.
Oh, that's kind of like being polite, though.
So we're pouring a drink, both got a drink at a table, and then he just happens, his glass is closer, and now it's a problem.
I'd always pour someone else's drink first.
But what are they going to do? Drink it as soon as you pour it? What's the intention?
It's just being polite, isn't it? It's like if you're serving someone, you serve someone else first. Just being polite.
That one's a bit of a... I mean, to mark them down on that though, do you know what I mean?
To mark them down is a bit harsh, but if they're constantly like doing stuff like that.
I mean, holding open doors, I get all that, you know.
Even though you don't agree with me, look at me, couldn't even look at the camera.
No. Okay, maybe I stand a little bit corrected on that matter because, you know, again, I haven't been to finishing school, so maybe that's a thing in finishing school.
What? It's nothing to do.
Pouring whoever first. But my manners have never raised any eyebrows in your mind.
No, they haven't. You've got very good manners.
You know what I'm saying. So yeah, that was it. That was my first dates experience.
/ non-experience. Well, kind of half experience.
Yeah, and you know, it was a good experience. The stars aligned a different way at that time. And then, you know, now I could do things on my own terms with Selena. So I did the TV route, but kind of in a roundabout way. Yeah. And you know, now we can edit things and make ourselves look bad by our choice. No one else's. But yeah, so that was my first dates experience. Almost on national TV. That's how bad it got in London with the dating attempts. But you know, my intentions were genuine and I guess things worked out. So yo, here we are. So yeah, anything you want to add? I guess, Selena, you know, are you surprised by that story? Because I don't think I've ever told it to you before.
You told me that you almost went on first dates, but I didn't realise how far in the process you got. And I guess the timing is interesting too. And I guess...
Shit. I'm joking.
No, I just think it's interesting. It just shows that like we really have no control over life. Like things just happen and you plan for something and something else happens. And you know, I'm obviously very grateful that we are where we are today, because you could have gone on the show and met someone else and be like, oh, who's Selena, get, you know, whatever. Well, so because at that point we were still quite fresh.
I just know that your girlfriends would be like, if I, you know, they'd be like, oh, your man's on TV with somebody, do you know what I mean? And you just avoid, a screenshot would come through, like, I don't need all that. What's this? You know, all this.
Yeah, but it's not as if we were official at that time, so I couldn't get angry about it. I mean, I might have watched it and be like, okay, but I can't get angry about it. I can't.
I think it was inviting, I guess, in my mind, unnecessary confusion.
Exactly. So you might have been like, oh, what do I do now? Or try and juggle both and see where each goes. I don't know. Some guys would do that. But yeah, we are where we are.
Yeah,
whatever was meant to happen, happened.
And will happen. You know, we're on a journey, right? So yeah, that was that really. Do you feel like you'd go on a show like that?
Obviously not now.
Well, I mean, they could do a reality show like that, you know, Loan My Girlfriend.
What? No thanks, I'm alright.
.com or whatever, but yeah.
I'm sure that exists, to be honest. Maybe you've built a business niche. But if I was single, I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe because, to be fair, it's just like anything else. You're putting yourself somewhere, you could potentially meet someone, or it doesn't work out. Like, it's the same thing you going on a date off of Tinder. It's the same thing you going on a date like off of meeting someone in a club or at a party or at a cafe or blind date. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, so you're just in a situation and you see. To be honest, you're more likely to find someone on first dates if they're doing all this matchmaking stuff. It's
a lot of effort to go all the way to the application and the office just to do some ghosting stuff, which a lot of people do. Hey, we're still on for Thursday. And you know when you get the sense in your stomach that they're going to ghost you, and then they no, it's never happened to you. So this is privileged, right? Anyway, so we're going to leave it there.
No, guys have been knobs to me. But anyway, yes, leave it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do it too, Paris.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be back next week, 6 o'clock. People, stay safe. Think about the reasons you have to be happy. Peace.
Thank